Who knows? Didn't expect it last week.
If I didn't have to go all the way down there on a Saturday, it's not far, but
Yeah.
it's.
Still a ways
Other
away.
things are on my schedule for that day,
Yeah.
right.
Hi, Jen. How are you? We have a massive crowd tonight.
I know, I can see that.
We were just saying there is a city council meeting tonight in public comment about the new I.C.E. administration building.
That's
So
where
I'm sure.
everybody is.
Yep. I'm sure that's.
It's like yesterday when everybody was staying home watching the hockey game instead of going to church. Yeah.
Like I was. I complained to Jason, I'm like, I gotta be in district at 11 a.m. Come on, guys, 8 a.m. Like I was gonna wake up for that. 9 a.m. committee is not the best thing for Sam Steckloff, we'll say that. I make it. Tuesdays are the worst. Welcome everyone.
Yeah.
We have such a large crowd. I know we were expecting a big one. You all know me, Sam Steckloff, District 19, so I have the northern portion of Southfield, along with about 6 other communities, including Farmington Hills. I serve on all appropriations committees. I've been here now, oh my gosh, I'm in my 6th year, 3rd term. It's wild to say that. Budget kicked off last week with the governor's recommendation last Wednesday. I'll get into that, but the counterpart over here.
Well, hello, friends. Yeah, thank you for joining us today. Jason Hoskins, State Representative for Michigan's 18th District, which covers the bottom half of Southfield as well as Farmington Hills and Farmington, Oak Park, and Lathrop Village. And yeah, we certainly, it's always interesting when there's so many things going on, that there is a lot of people in a lot of places, including us, where we're down to this evening. But Sam and I are gonna, carry on and talk about some of the things that have been happening throughout the last month. And there's been a lot of things going on, as was alluded to. Things going on with I.C.E. here in Southfield, which we'll get into. But as I think Sam kind of touched on, let's get right into it. It's budget season, at the beginning of budget season, and that is Sam's wheelhouse. I am on all policy committees. I serve on the Health Policy Committee and the Committee on Finance, which is our tax policy committee. And Sam gets to do all the fun stuff on appropriations. So why don't we go down that rabbit hole?
I love money, love budgets, love spending it. True Democrat over here. So I have said this, we've gone over how the budget process works, and I am praying with everything I have it's not going to be drawn out like it was last term, though the speaker is indicating it will.
It will be, yeah.
So what happens is every February, the governor comes in and puts out her executive recommendation, and that's the kickoff of what should be a few-month process of budget season. So what happens is she does hers, and then we listen, and then subcommittees meet for the foreseeable, probably usually about 2-3 months. And then the committee chairs start to do their individual budget. It gets sent to the House floor, typically around May. We vote yes on our budgets. Senate votes yes on theirs. We send ours back over to the other chamber. We vote no, and that's what signifies and releases conference committee. And that's when the subcommittee chairs, both in the Senate, the House, and the governor's office get together to hash out the rest of the budget. Last year was a very, very different experience. There was no subcommittees, there was no hashing out. The speaker kind of pulled out everything the end of September. Up against the deadline, we had to do a continuing resolution just to make sure that we didn't get into a shutdown here in Michigan, but we were able to pass a budget. Now the budget that was passed last term was, I'm going to be very honest with you, there were obviously split government and we had to make some rough decisions, but for the most part we were able to get out a pretty heavily Democratic budget. And I'm going to tell you something, shame on us. We allowed the speaker to go out and have his talking points. Alvin and I have spoken about this ad nauseum. He was right. We allowed him to do his talking points, talking about waste, fraud, and abuse, and then he took it to the next level when he did $650 million of clawbacks in December. So one of the outrageous rules we have in the state legislature, very obscure, somehow the speaker found this, is that there's a procedure. So funds that are appropriated in the budget, if they haven't all been spent, it needs to turn into this thing called a work project. And these are things like things we give to our local government. So anytime we talk about things we were able to bring home to the city of Southfield, those are the things we're talking about. And so he decided to claw all those dollars back instead of rubber stamping a work project. I could get into this way more in depth, but it's probably I love it, but it's a little bit boring. So we are dealing with those clawbacks. Now you would think that we would have $650 million additional dollars in our budget this year. That is not true. $300 million of that was federal dollars. So those federal dollars were sent directly back to DC, and we will never see that money again. So you want to talk about waste, fraud, and abuse. That's what I call waste, fraud, and abuse. Literally sending our hard-earned tax dollars back to DC to never come back. And that is kind of the situation we are in right now. Many difficult decisions are going to have to be made this budget cycle. The one big beautiful bill has continued to crush the state of Michigan, costing us billions upon billions of dollars. This year alone, just to meet those Medicaid requirements, okay, just to meet the reporting requirements, is going to be about 600 full-time employees. So we now have to add 600 new employees just to meet the requirements of the big, beautiful bill. So that's about an additional $1 billion that we are losing in this year's budget. So now we're down about $5 billion. We are opening up a new statewide mental health facility. Wonderful, great. Another 300 full-time employees. So there's a lot of things that we're gonna have to make very tough decisions on this year. The speaker is floating around an idea to pretty much axe property taxes, which is gonna cost about an additional $6 billion. We only have a certain amount in general fund. The way the state budget works, it's about an $85 billion budget. Half of those dollars come from the federal government to be used like DHHS. So that's where your Medicaid, not Medicare, but Medicaid dollars, they kind of pass through the state, which is why it's now up to us to come up with how we do these new reporting requirements. So keep an eye out. The speaker is saying he should release his plan of where this $5 to $6 billion is coming from in the next 2 weeks. He is saying he's going to do this without raising any taxes. I will be honest with you, I don't see how it's possible. It's a puzzle piece that I am still missing that piece and cannot put it together. I can maybe find $2 billion, but that's about it. The other issue we're gonna run into this year, which we've seen last term, was the rating of the school aid budget. A lot of people ask me, how can you rate it if it's constitutional dollars, statutory dollars, and what they do is based on the Michigan's constitution, we can use those school aid dollars in both K-12 as well as higher education. So what happens is they move a whole bunch of school aid dollars into the higher education budget, and that's how they rate the general fund dollars. The general fund is like this, but the school aid is like this. So keep an eye out on that, because that is, I just got off a call with the budget director for the state of Michigan, and they're trying their best to make sure we're not rating the school aid fund. But if you look at the governor's recommendation, you will see dollars that are moved over to higher education. These are predominantly, though, those scholarship dollars. This is the Michigan Achievement Scholarship that allows 70% of our high school students to go to a 4-year institution, 2-year institution for pretty much no cost. So we can have a conversation of what we think school aid dollars should be used for, but I want to make sure that you all keep an eye out for that. Now, I said this very, very quickly, but those are kind of some top lines that we'll be continuing to discuss every month in this beautiful library.
And I kind of want to touch on too, just that proposal that the speaker is talking about with eliminating property taxes. You know, we have been hearing, certainly this whole term, about a number of ways that the Republicans have been trying to cut taxes. And we're not against cutting taxes. We like cutting taxes too. But we also want to make sure we have the services necessary that many of our constituents depend on. And so, for example, last year there was a proposal to cut the income tax, and it would have cut it by $700 million. And fine, but what are you cutting? Because that's money coming from the general fund. And so you can't just cut something without saying, okay, where are you going to get that $700 million from? Because it's going to come from a service that, you know, we as Michiganders, that we all depend on, whether it's something from Medicaid, something from not I want to say education per se, but like there are multiple things that we were concerned from local governments. There are multiple things that we were concerned about. Where was that $700 million gonna come from? And now with this property tax proposal, it's a very similar thing. They are not, you know, the Republicans will point to other places that either don't have an income tax, like Florida or Texas, and a lot of places now are going through the exercise of trying to get rid of property taxes. Like Florida right now is trying to go through the process of trying to get rid of their property taxes, but they never talk about the ways that they replace the property tax. Like in Texas, there's taxes on everything. In fact, in Texas, they have some of the highest property taxes in the country. They also have a regional sales tax. So if you live in Austin or in Dallas or in Houston, you're paying, you know, it's like 6% in the state, but you pay 10% in sales tax there. There's taxes on alcohol, there's taxes on, if you stay in a hotel in Houston, and you got a meal, you're probably paying taxes on that. Hotel tax, a tax on the meal in the restaurant, higher sales tax. There's all these little taxes that they use and fees that they use in these places that don't have income taxes to make up for the money that they're going to lose. I don't think the Republicans have a plan to tax or fee their way to $6 billion. Like, I think it's going to be, we're going to cut and we're going to see what happens. And of course, I'm fairly confident I would not vote for that. Unless there was if they found me $6 billion in taxes, I mean, I would be very surprised.
They gave me a graduated income tax.
Oh yeah, I would love that. I'd be happy to do that.
But the speaker is still in no new sources of revenue mode. That's still the official position?
I'm hearing rumblings. Again, these are just rumblings.
Okay.
That he is going to probably do something with sales tax of some sort. And we all know sales tax is a very regressive form of taxes.
Yeah.
To axe the property tax and to raise the sales tax, that will disproportionately affect you and I. The wealthy, they're gonna, oh my gosh, you get rid of property taxes, they're living large.
I don't need to tell you that, yeah?
Yeah, so that's what Florida's doing with multi-million-dollar homes. I don't know how they're gonna pay for it, but exactly as Rep. Hoskins says they do have a tax on everything. I mean, they have a parking lot tax,
Yeah.
parking
I can get
space
behind-
tax.
I can get behind that one.
Yeah, I don't mind it. I like it.
I think that's
Get rid
fine.
of service lots, but that's another
Yeah.
day.
But-
So the governor though did put in a proposal to not cut them, but to allow for a tax refund, a tax write-off for seniors, seniors who have property taxes.
Yeah, and you have, it's certain requirements, you have to be 65 or over, certain income requirements. But I will say that, here in this area, the thing I always hear the most, ever since I was on city council, was that, oh, in Southfield, our property taxes are really high. Which is true.
Well,
we,
depends on how long you've lived here, because I
Oh,
don't think
that-
mine are very high.
yes,
Oh yeah, I know.
yeah.
My parents won't leave because their taxes are so cheap.
If
Yeah,
you
you
are,
heard that, Mom and Dad.
yeah, if you are just moving into Southfield,
If we sell our house,
oh, you
we're
are,
gonna go way up.
you are in
On
for
that
a
same
pleasant
piece of
surprise.
property.
Yes, yes, yeah. If you've been here for 40 years, your taxes are probably great.
Yeah,
But
I've been here for 40 years.
yeah, yeah. And so, but if you're as you're moving in, so we're trying to get new people moving in, or if you're a senior, you don't want to be in a 4-bedroom colonial anymore. You want to downsize, and you want to get something new. You're going to get hit with higher taxes. And so the governor came out with a proposal. It's only $90 million, and it will cut the property taxes for seniors at a certain income threshold. And we will replace that with a number of proposed fees and taxes that the governor has come up with. A lot of these we actually talked about last year when we were talking about road funding for state and local roads. And I thought that was a great idea, all the
It was
other
held
fees.
harmless.
I know.
It was
Yeah,
held
yeah.
harmless.
Yeah. Yep.
It's held harmless.
But the fees will go for that, and also like they'll help cover the cost for certain things, certain healthcare costs that are coming up. As Rep. Steckloff pointed out,
A lot of sin taxes.
yeah, the big beautiful bill putting billions of dollars, put billions of dollars whole into our budget, and so we're trying to make up the cost and make sure people aren't potentially suffering or losing medical coverage because of it. And so there's also fees and taxes that we're trying to, the sin taxes that we're trying to use to plug some holes. I wish they can go to other things, but here we are.
Increase the taxes on alcohol, tobacco, and then gaming. Jeremy Moss has spoken a lot about the gaming tax, so that brings in, we can figure it out to bring in about 300 million. That's what Ohio does, so that is on the table. So those are the three really on the
A
table.
lot of commercials for the online gaming is ridiculous.
Yep. Digital advertising, that's another tax they're looking at.
Who's they?
We're gonna go with the governor on they.
The governor.
That's like, I mean, it's more than just the governor, like we've proposed these taxes, but these are the ones that she proposed in this new budget.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
This is the governor. But the problem we will keep running back to over the next 6 months is that none of this is gonna run in the House.
I've seen a lot of things happen that I didn't think were possible, but I know that as Sam pointed out, when we voted on the budget last year, that was a very democratic budget,
Correct.
like surprisingly so. And there were a lot of things that I was like RX kids, that's socialism. Like that is giving literal money to people for no reason, just because they could. I mean, yeah, I think it's great reasons, but if you're a Republican, you're probably like, no, I don't want to give money to pregnant moms and kids so they can get out of poverty. So
But you want to force them to have kids.
that's cool.
That's a whole nother
Yeah.
whole nother animal.
That's right, Miss Regina. So I never say never. It's all a part of the game. Unfortunately, this is the starting salvo of what the governor wants. We haven't even talked about what the Democrats in the House and the Senate and what the Republicans in the House and the Senate want. So we're gonna see how things go and what we can negotiate. Hopefully, we'll get some things out of this. I mean, I can't imagine them voting for all these, even if they're sin taxes, I can't imagine them voting for these things. But maybe that's how they justify it, it's like, these are sin taxes and this is how we can, get away with this. I can't also imagine this property tax proposal, I can't imagine that going anywhere either. They are going to hear from their local communities and saying, like, this is going to, we're not going to be able to do police and fire and all those things. Certainly,
Half of your property taxes go to schools.
yeah. That's going to be the thing. They're going to hear from every superintendent, every teacher, I can't imagine that going any further either. But this is it. We are hopeful that we get to that statutory deadline of July 1st. But Sam kind of said it. The speaker's already kind of indicating this is gonna go until the constitutional deadline of October 1st. So
You're gonna be seeing a lot more money spent for a lot less. One of the things that the big beautiful bill also did is we used to have a lot of matching funds for infrastructure. So if we put $100 million into lead pipelines for drinking water, the federal government would give us another $100 million. So great bang for your buck. Those matching dollars are pretty much gone. A lot of the matching dollars came from Biden under the infrastructure bill. So those dollars are also gone, because billionaires need more tax breaks. No clean water.
Whatever happened to the income taxes for seniors that we were supposed to not have to pay because initially, for a while.
The retirement
didn't
tax?
have the retirement, and then, but when we had the House, Senate, and the governorship, it was written in, something was written in it, but it's supposed to be graduated.
Yes.
Whatever happened with that?
Oh, it's passed.
yeah.
I know it passed, but then it went away.
No, it's starting to get rolled out. I can't remember where.
I know, I can't remember
at what
the-
point, and we could check to see. But we had to phase it in because if you did it all at once, it would cause budgetary issues.
Right.
I would check with your accountant, because for the life of me, I can't remember the rollouts, because it's based on your date of birth, yeah.
Yeah, and we can find out when it's supposed to be. Everyone's supposed to be.
Well, I thought it was last year, or this year, I think. maybe,
Yeah.
That it was supposed to be all done.
I don't think it's everyone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe 2020. We'll check.
I gotta check on that, thanks for bringing that up. Yeah, and then we also had the EITC, the earned income tax credit that we raised in the trifecta. So those two things though did eat into those general fund dollars. I'm not gonna pretend that what we did as Democrats is not taking dollars out of the budget. We just think it should go to working families
Yeah.
and our seniors. So that's where our holes are coming from.
Yeah, we just need the wealth tax, but that's not.
Well, I can't talk about it, but Jen over here, I'm sure has petitions for
Invest in
it.
Michigan Kids petition over here, if you want to sign it, please.
Oh, I didn't know.
Can you speak a little bit to the culture situation, like Jeremy was talking the last town hall that Sam was at with Jeremy, about the clawback and the you know, the trust that was broken between the houses and how the leadership kind of got together and said, here's 5 bills and here's 5 bills, and traded like sometime in December because the backup would
The
get so
Senate,
bad.
yeah, so the Senate put out some bills to put those dollars back in. Issue is, the only person who gets to decide what comes to the House, unlike the federal government where you can petition to bring things to the floor,
Isn't it?
only the speaker gets to decide.
Yeah.
So it wasn't going anywhere. But I think it sent a message that the Senate bill was bipartisan. There were both Democrats and Republicans that voted yes on that. And still to this day, there are many Republicans in the House that are absolutely furious. They have no idea what they voted on. Sitting in that room will literally haunt me forever. There was a viral picture of me going like this. And you know, one of my new phrases is, "That's a good question, Todd." One of the Republicans over that weekend was asked to be on, a UP rep was asked to be on a radio show, and they were talking about the clawbacks and, you know, what did he claw back? And he just kept answering, "Well, that's a good question, Todd." Like, they had no idea. Absolutely no idea. And these projects were in their district. One of the representatives who voted to claw these dollars back actually clawed back dollars that were going towards working on a building that was in his father's name. They lost the roof. It's a community center. So there is no rhyme or reason to any of this. But I would love to talk about other things, but I can't while I'm on my state time.
Right, yeah, I understand. I'll think it for you.
Thanks, Alvin. That's my guy.
Okay. Well,
There's not a whole lot going on.
yeah.
So is there movement of any legislation right now with the budget process going to be lasting for 6 months now? And I mean,
We have
is it
had,
worth lobbying for anything?
it's been the least productive term so far.
I
in
know.
I would say modern history, but I think it went back to like the 40s. I gotta double check this, but it went back to like the 40s of the most least productive term.
Yeah, when we're in war.
Yeah,
Like,
Wartime, yeah.
Yeah, and we are anticipating less bills to get through this year than they did. I have a lot of stuff in the Senate right now, so I'm not as scared. Most of my bills are hanging out in committee there. I had a bill in committee this past week. It should be voted out hopefully at their next health policy committee and get off the Senate floor. It is the easiest bill on the planet. Most people call it a common sense bill. It is about eye drops. When you go to have eye surgery, you are not allowed to take those eye drops home with you. So they will put them in your eyes and then they have to throw them away. And then somehow blindly you have to get to a pharmacist to get the prescription. The same exact prescription that was just discarded. So it's one of those like common sense bills, but it's really serious. I mean, we have people that can get real bad vision impairment if they're not getting their drugs on time. And how many times have you gone to the pharmacy and they've said, "Oh, your prescription's delayed"? These are like big things. So that bill should get through. It was one of those bills held up in the concurrent lame duck of 2024. We are working on some bills right now. I've got a big bill for gift card fraud. We have rings that are, these big criminal rings are able to steal gift card information. And what they do is they go to the stores, they have these scanners that can read the gift card, they enter them into a system, and as soon as someone purchases it and then activates it, they steal the dollars. And this is really, really prevalent. I'm actually telling people I would not trust a gift card at the moment. So what we're trying to do is to get that bill, to get those organized, those big rings into the Organized Retail Crime Consumer Protection Act, so the Attorney General can go after those huge rings. Right now, the state of Michigan actually has some of the best consumer protection laws in the country. We are known for our consumer protection laws, and I will say this preface, under Attorney General Dana Nessel. So Dana Nessel has done a fantastic job of really putting Michigan on the map to make sure that Michiganders are protected against fraud. So we're just going to continue that good work.
It's unfortunate. We are not doing as much as we should be. And the speaker is actually proud of it. He said he wants this to be the most unproductive legislature in history. I mean, that's a spin, of course.
No, I think he actually said
That's
that.
his intent.
Well, I mean, why would you want to why would you want to tell your constituents, yeah, we're not doing our jobs? Like, why would I, like, for him, it is, oh, we're making government smaller and we're stopping, bad laws from getting passed. But like, when your constituents are in dire need of help, and because I don't know anyone's district who's perfect, who doesn't have a care in the world, and they're kicking their feet up, and like, literally everyone has problems, and so it's just kind of a slap in the face when the Speaker of the House is saying, oh, I know you got problems, but we're not gonna take up anything to solve it.
Well,
In
but
fact,
that is the point.
Yeah, in fact, I think he said we're gonna I've been hearing rumors that we're gonna do like maybe 20 bills from now until July, which is,
Well, I got 3, so hopefully those are mine.
I trust the Senate way more than the House.
What I think said maybe like once or twice, maybe not to you specifically, but like the slap in the, like it's fun. Like the slap in the face is the point. That is the point.
Yeah.
From where I sit, I have no other explanation than he wants to slap you in the, like that is
Sure.
the justification. Like there's like you're searching for an answer that doesn't exist. He just wants to slap people in the face because it's fun.
It's
Sure.
Been so strange watching the evolution of Matt Hall. It has since he became speaker, his diction and the way he speaks is completely changed. I mean, he used to sound intelligent. Now he mirrors Trump. He's got long ties now, he does this, and he's doing press conferences on a daily basis that are absolutely not making sense. And he's doing it on purpose. None of us can understand why. I mean, yes, Trump is popular within the Republican Party, but we're looking at an election year where Democrats are expected to do extremely well. Nationally, we're seeing between a 9 and a 12, a +9 and +12 in every single special election. If you were to put that on average, you're gonna see about a +5. So if you're looking at +5 for the Democrats, Matt Hall just happens to be in one of those seats. That is a +5. If we have a +5, Matt Hall is gone. So I don't know why he's playing these games.
He gets money from Senate.
Yeah, they do.
And then there's Barry Johnson, he's doing this,
You know what? I don't mind.
he wants to be Trump too, for Michigan.
I'm not gonna mind because if he gets the nomination,
Yep.
looking good for Jocelyn. But again, oops, I'm on camera and I'm not supposed to be talking about these things. But I'm talking about other races, not mine. Yeah.
I don't know your rules. I can't help you.
I can't campaign on my stateside time.
let's change subjects a little bit
Yes.
and talk about ICE.
Yeah, I was getting ready to go to
Yeah. I don't know how many people are there at the city council meeting right now, but last week, actually 2 weeks ago, we found out that ICE was leasing office space here in Southfield, and we don't like that. I know that the Southfield delegation at the state level, and with our Congresswoman Rashida Tlaib, and some community partners, faith leaders, we had a press conference last week in front of the building, talking about the concerns we had, talking about how our community does not want ICE here. That is something that I've heard loud and clear from my constituents, that they do not want ICE here in Southfield. And we are now working with like our partners to to figure out ways that we can protect our residents, and give residents the knowledge that they need to feel empowered, to stay safe. Sometimes there's not a lot you can do when it comes to, with federal agencies. I mean, these are federal agents and they're doing investigations. There's not a lot we can do, nor do we want to interfere with certain groups, certain agencies. We don't want to interfere with with any of their investigations. But obviously, there have been a number of things that have been happening around the country, and the way that this particular department handles itself, and it is something that is reckless, dangerous in a lot of ways, and we do not want that here. And even that office space is supposed to be administrative offices, it's supposed to be the lawyers for ICE. But I don't care. I don't want ICE, I don't want the helpers of ICE. I don't want ICE's lawyers here, and a lot of our constituents feel the same way. They are building a detention center in Romulus.
I think they have a council meeting tonight
Yeah,
too.
Yeah, they have to
Backlash on
protest
that
too.
one,
Yeah.
too, 'cause
They have to
the
protest
stuff
on.
you hear about these detention centers, it should not happen.
Yeah.
You know, it's like illegal, but why are they not held responsible for their illegal acts?
And it's getting difficult. I'm working on these cases all the time. It's been, I have a face on right now, but I was crying about an hour earlier because I had to tell a young girl in Farmington Hills that her father, who's been here for 30 years, who came here as an asylum seeker, goes to his hearing every year. Why he hasn't become a citizen, that doesn't matter. He's here legally. His wife, his daughter, they're all American citizens. He was detained and it looks like he's being deported. I don't know where to because he's from Kosovo. So these are cases that we are dealing with as state legislators on a daily basis. So if you know of anyone, let us know because we are able to work. I work a lot with Alyssa Slotkin's office as well as Haley. Congresswoman Tlaib has helped on a few of these cases too. She's got that downtown detention center, which is usually like the one-day holding place. So if you know of anyone that just happens to be sent downtown, I am telling you, call us right away. Because if we don't get to them within like that first however many hours, they're going to Baldwin or somewhere else. So spread the word. I just totally went on a tangent, but we can go back.
Yeah, and we are concerned about the detention center in Romulus because the detention center in Baldwin, Michigan has had so many issues with people in custody dying, all kinds of abuses, and there's no oversight. And certainly not from this administration. And so we are concerned about the overall, what this message is sending of you're expanding ICE into Michigan and what that looks like, and you're expanding it with Romulus. You have this office space in Southfield, which we found out. I don't want to say not by accident, but when you're doing a lease with the government, you do the GSA, the General Services Administration, and it doesn't say what department is taking the space. It's just the GSA. And so at some point they found out that it was ICE that was going to be in the building. I don't know the timeline, but somebody in the city found out, and then the city put out a statement saying that this was going to happen, and that's how we all found out. And I'm not sure what can and can't be done with the lease. I just know that there is a clear consensus that we don't want ICE here. So there are groups that are, there are groups right now at the city council meeting telling the council, not the council's fault, but they are expressing their concern and seeing what can be done at the city level. I know there are going to be some rallies and protests in front of that building. I think one that might be happening March 11th. It's a Wednesday. I'm hoping, I'm going to try to go, but I think it's towards the end. It's like 4 or 5 in in the afternoon, so we're in session during that time. But, you know, Sam and I have been talking about doing, a lot of our colleagues have been doing Know Your Rights town halls, so people literally just
In
know their
partnership
rights.
with the ACLU,
Yeah.
yeah, so we're putting one together.
And I know I've had, you know, obviously we've had issues with, you know, some of our constituents, particularly if you are from a group that is typically targeted by ICE. But I know I went to an event on Thursday that was put together by Chamber of Commerce, and they were asking me a bunch of questions because they were concerned. Their businesses are concerned about ICE, and they're asking what does a business do, or what can a business do, because they have people who are working there and they're concerned about ICE just coming in one day, and they want to know their rights. There are businesses that are shutting down around the country because they're just like, I don't want to deal with ICE if ICE is in their community. At Southfield Public Schools, there were 15 maintenance people who didn't show up to work when they heard about this. And so, like, you know, it's had so many ramifications for our community that we want to make sure that we are addressing it and giving our community the tools that they need to be able to fight back.
We need to gear up. The flight logs at Willow Run are multiplying. I believe it was today DTE approved, not DTE, DTW. DTW approved more flights to be coming out of Detroit. They're building detention facilities, this new administration building. That means they are gearing up. Okay, so this is very important right now that we get all of this infrastructure put together to protect our residents. We know that they are not targeting the criminals. We know that. We saw what happened in Minnesota. They are pulling over anyone, I mean, pretty much anyone who's black or brown. Yep. So we need to do the Know Your Rights. That is why, you know, Southfield is a majority minority community. This is, they put it here on purpose. So we are here, please know that, but this is bad. I'm nervous. Yeah. Anybody got a fun question?
Yeah, I got something much less serious. And that's, I work with Leader Dog. I raised some
Oh,
puppies
you
for Leader Dog.
do? Yes.
And I heard something a while back even, that businesses don't even know what their rights are about service dogs and non-service dogs. And there needs to be more publicity and whatever, that if a dog is not you know, even if it is a service dog shouldn't misbehave.
Yeah.
And probably 99-point-something% don't. But there may be one that the handler has let the training lapse a bit, and it might act up. And then it's okay to ask that one to leave. If the dog is barking, running around, you know, getting disruptive, it can be asked to leave. And I had somebody that said, we can't do anything about it. You know, that's not true. And I don't think people always, you know, the businesses even know what they can do and what they can't do, because these non-service dogs that people say, it's a service, and you can fake it easily.
Yeah.
And, you know, to say you have to have ID or something doesn't work, because you can fake all of that. I mean, when I had a dog, I had something, and I said, you want to call Leader Dog? Please do. But I was never asked to do that. But it's a, you know, I don't know how big of an issue it is, but it is an issue. There have been service dogs, because I get these things on my feed all the time, that have had to be career changed early, a natural service dog, because a non-service dog had jumped at them and done something and made the dog nervous, and then it wasn't doing its job well anymore.
Yeah.
So I don't know how we can do that, but we need to get more information out, especially to businesses, that if a dog's acting up, ask it to leave.
It's good to know. That's definitely something maybe to rope in Small Business Association and the
And you
chamber.
should know what the
Yeah.
rules are. you know, but that's the way I understand it. That,
Good to know. Yeah, I never would have thought about that.
you know, a dog that's not you know, a service dog should be quiet, but puppies, you know, we have a law now in Michigan that the puppies, but again, they have to be under control,
Yeah.
or they can be asked to leave.
Okay, yeah.
I am so sorry. I have to duck out early because I have to be somewhere. But it was nice to see you. Jason, you can hold down the floor?
Sure.
See you.
With this crowd.
I know, this crazy
I know,
crowd.
it's like-
For those of you who come to Bloomfield, I will not be there next week. I'm got a flight home that's during that time, so I'll see you in a month.
Well, I mean, we're getting close to the end of time anyway, too, and we might as well end on a happy note. So Sam and I, we represent Farmington Hills, and last week, a Farmington Hills resident scored the gold-winning shot for the U.S. women's hockey team. Scoring them a gold medal. Her name is Megan Keller. She is unfortunately not in either Sam or my district. She is in Kelly Breen's district. But
2014 graduate of North Farmington High School.
yes,
Graduated my middle child.
oh,
Yeah.
look at that. But
And her mother still teaches in the district.
oh, I love hearing that.
Yeah.
So we are gonna hopefully, and then yesterday the men's
They're
hockey
cool.
team got go, and they were also Michiganders. A Michigander scored that winning shot. He's from Canton. The goalie is from Commerce Township. And so a lot of Michiganders helping us get gold in the Olympics this year. But hopefully we'll have her come. We're gonna do certainly a tribute for her signed by the Farmington delegation and the governor. Hopefully have her come to the House floor with her gold. I'm sure she's gonna go to the Farmington Hills City Council meeting there as well. But yeah, there's a lot of bad happening in the world, but like every now and again we wanna talk about some good things. Well, I mean, unless you have questions.
The four other people sitting in the audience, if anybody has not signed the Invest in Michigan Kids petition, I have this. And they moved up their window of, they're collecting more signatures now than they were in the fall. So if you signed it last year, sign it again.
Wait, what does that mean? The last sentence you just said.
So when they turn in the signatures, it's a period of 6 months or whatever that they're turning in the signatures from, and they started collecting signatures last summer. But at the time they were just coming in as a trickle, and now they've got such a concentrated effort out there. There's so many more petition signature gatherers out there that they're going to focus on the more recent past. So they're going to do the 6 months, up to the point that they turn them in.
I understand.
So if
There's
you
a rule
sign,
that,
like
you
I
miss many
signed
years,
at a
fine.
farmer's market last spring, I need to sign it again, even though I've been collecting them all this time, because they're gonna drop off the ones from way back.
It's some set 6-month interval
Right,
that
yeah.
counts. Okay.
It's a window that moves with the, yeah,
Gotcha.
okay, so. Anybody?
I'll see you in a second.
No? Okay.
All right,
I have
well,
an extremely boring question.
sure.
Oh, I don't need you all here for that if you want to leave. But the boring question, there's something that occurred to me while you all were talking. I've touched on, I think, in prior questions, there's no concept in the Michigan House of Representatives of the equivalent of the federal discharge petition. You said something to the effect of the House Speaker gets sole authority over what votes hit the floor.
Yes.
Full stop. That's up to and including the budget, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah, so, okay, that just popped into the back of my head, that, like, the budget counts there too. So he, as a single individual,
Thank you, sir.
can, again, but like in that way, also like stall up
Sign
anything
first
that
and
he
then
personally
print it.
decides he doesn't wanna.
I'm sorry, there's no example there, because I turned my.
That's it. Boring technical question.
Yeah. The budget, it's a bill.
Yeah, it's a
like
bill
any
like
other,
everything else.
so-
And he's playing chicken with it all. So.
Yeah, very.
I
The,
heard on the radio that he was talking about redoing, how we fund schools and how we fund local government.
Yeah, with the property taxes, that's,
Is that
yeah.
dude?
Well, I would say, but probably not the way he needs it.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly.
No problem. Okay. But what popped into my head that made me laugh was add that to the list of things that should change. But then when I thought about it a second time, assuming there's like a Democratic sweep, which I will not ask you to comment on, but assuming that happened, add that onto the list of things to change is like
Yeah, change that rule.
introducing rules about like floor members being able to like petition to bring votes and stuff. But then what made me laugh was, well, if you have majorities, you should wait until the very end of the term and then change. So that you can do whatever you want and then make it the next guy's problem.
I was gonna say, sometimes these things protect us too.
That's right.
It's like-
That's right. Thank you so much.
Well, I know I've been seeing this thing about making federal term limits. And I
Yeah.
think that, especially when the amount they say, like, is similar to Michigan's, are ridiculously short. Maybe term limits aren't totally bad, but there should be a nice amount of time before you're term limited out, instead of as soon as you just begin to really get your job, you have to leave.
So there's a push to do something, do a constitutional convention, which would allow, they specifically want to do, I think it's a balanced budget amendment, term limits, and something else. There's 3 things. I have concerns, not about those things in particular, but like having a convention. Because I think it opens up things, I think it can cause problems. The people you pick, you know, it's, I mean, it could
It's a
go,
very
it could be
dangerous
people
weapon.
who
Very
don't reflect certainly my district's values, and, so I have concern, I think it might come up. I know they had a hearing on it,
You're welcome.
last week, and I'm a little concerned about, you know, I don't think it'll come up in the Senate, but like, I'm concerned that we're even having the conversation around it, but,
Did you sign this?
About what in particular?
constitutional convention.
Oh, yeah, the
Article.
well, the vote's gonna happen. You're concerned that it passes.
Next year.
My understanding
I
is
don't
it
think
goes
it
to the
will.
ballot no matter what.
No, this is an Article 5, this is for, nationally. Like yeah.
Not the Michigan and that.
No,
I didn't even
no.
know that.
That is something that will be on the ballot, in November. Cause that comes up for Michigan. A Michigan Constitutional Convention, that's something that comes up every 10 years.
Yeah.
And it'll be on the ballot this year.
Yeah.
Right.
And, yeah, it goes,
I'm sorry?
however it goes.
But that's to change the Michigan
Yes,
constitution.
yes. What I'm talking about
And
is.
there's a second thing for
Yeah.
federal, okay, yes,
Yeah.
speak to that please.
And so, like, for that, we have to vote to allow it, and then so many states have to vote to allow it as well.
Right.
And once they get to the number, then we can have what is called an Article 5 convention.
Mhm. And that's also gonna be on the ballot this
No,
November?
that's not gonna be.
No,
on the ballot.
okay.
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha. Okay, interesting.
I'm jumping the line, Jason.
Okay.
I'm jumping the line ahead of all of your gatekeepers. Jason is.
You're a crowd of adoring
Yeah.
fans.
Thank you so much.
You know, my big.
Jumping back here.